Jill Jackson, the owner of Sea Spray Watercolors. And if you're new here, I just want to say welcome to my sometimes wacky, but always wonderful world of watercolors. Let's get started. Okay, today we're going to learn how to paint a wave in the ocean. What you'll need is you'll need your sketch. You'll need some masking fluid. You'll need an old grubby brush, a piece of soap, and you'll also need your some tape for the horizon line, a natural sponge or a piece of kitchen sponge is fine too. I'm going to be using a wax resist pen, crayon. And then you'll need your watercolors too. So, okay. We're going to start off with putting masking fluid on the white of the wave. So, you get your masking fluid prepared. I always put mine in a separate little container. It keeps the big container from being globby. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my grubby brush, an old brush, this one's a flat, and I'm loading it up with soap. Okay, now I won't use any water on my brush, and that way I'll be able to get the masking fluid out after everything is said and done. You don't want to use your good brushes to put on masking fluid. Okay, this top line is a horizon line. The next line down is the top of the wave. So we're just going to mask that out. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. Waves, water, there's nothing straight about water. So it can be a little wavy, it's all fine. Okay, now I'm going to fill in the rest of the wave. Okay, now I've left the bottom of the wave open because I want to get my sponge out and use it to make the sea foam. Okay, back here I'm going to paint in some long lines. These are waves that you'll see out in the distance. Remember, the closer that you get to the horizon line, the smaller the waves are. Well, they're not literally smaller, but they look smaller. Okay. And that looks good, so rinse the brush out. Get my sponge. This is a natural sponge. You can use a piece of kitchen sponge too, it doesn't matter. You can pick it a little bit so that it's not regular looking. So it has an uneven surface. Okay, you're going to wet your sponge a little bit. You're going to wring it out real good. And then you just dip your sponge down into your masking fluid like that. And I want this to look like sea foam, so I'm just going to dab some in every here and there just because there's always sea foam everywhere in the ocean. Okay. That looks good, so you can rinse out your sponge now. Okay, we're going to let this dry, and while it's drying, I'm going to use, this is my wax resist crayon. All it is just a colorless crayon. It's wax. You can actually use a piece of a candle too, to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to run some lines up across here, make it look like some sea foam when the water is retreating and it's turning up. There are always these little lines of sea foam. Oops. And I'll do the same thing over here. Okay. All right. Now we're going to paint the sky while we're waiting for the masking fluid to totally dry. I put a piece of washi tape along the bottom of the horizon line. So now what I'm going to do, make sure that's down pretty good, because if it doesn't, the paint will bleed underneath. Now I'm going to mix up my color, which is a cerulean blue, and have that ready. I'm going to go ahead and put water on the sky area. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop in my blue paint. Okay, I'll let that dry for just a second, and I want to do some clouds, so I'm going to ball up my paper towel and just blot in some clouds. Okay, I like the way that looks, so we're going to let it dry. I'm going to give you a close-up of it so you can see. Okay, everything's dry now, so I'm going to take the tape off. Okay, and now we're going to put in the local color, or that's the color that the rest of the painting is going to be, the main parts of it. So I'm going to take the same blue, which is ultramarine blue, and I'm going to get enough of that to be able to finish up, or to put in all the color that I want. And I'm just painting it on. You can see where I used the wax resist now. Okay. I think I'd like to put some green in there. I'm going to get some Viridian green and mix it up with my ultramarine. I'm just going to put some green down here. Leave it all bleed together. Okay, I like that better. Okay, now our painting is dry, and we're going to remove the masking fluid. So I use a rubber cement pickup. You can see it's just a square of rubber. Get them at the art supply store. And you just run it over your painting like an eraser, and it will lift up the masking fluid. Okay, now we're going to go in, and I want to put a little more color in it so that it's more interesting to look at. So I'm going to take my Viridian green and ultramarine blue and mix up a little puddle of that, and I'm going to go back here in the background and just do some zigzags with the bluish green paint. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing in here, make it look a little more interesting, some more color to it. Try to paint around your white spaces that you made with your sponge. Okay, and I want to put some of that greenish blue in the wave also. So I'm going to paint some along the crest of the wave. Okay, one more time I'm going to go back and put in some darker color right underneath the wave. Okay. Now at this point you can personalize the painting by putting in color that you like, or if there are certain brush strokes that you like, you can go back in and add those. I wanted to get some more intense green in there because I like that color. So right now it's personalization time. You can make the painting yours now by adding your touches. Hey there, what do you think? Did you get any value from my video? If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and you can tell I live in the South. We mash the bell down here. We don't push the button, we mash it. So mash the little bell so you don't miss anything. And also in the comments below, I will be leaving a link to my Patreon page if you'd like to participate in that, and also links to all of my social media accounts if you'd like to stay in the loop. That's it. I'll see you in the next video.